It should be good now. Okay. All right. So we go to the chapter 11, and I see all you get in. That's perfect. Sorry for the problem, guys. And now we're back to the chapter 11. Okay, in this chapter we talk about how to manage or how to use the information systems. So this is about the information system uses, and it's helpful, somewhat helpful for the people from the business side. So as a business student or in the future a business manager, you need to learn something and some about information system uses and how to take care of everything regarding this information system maintenance and development as well. Okay, so this is some problem when people when the organization want to implement information systems, right? And they may have some questions like how to do this, how to make it, and where they will hire some people working for that, because not always we do have a team of the programmers or developers for the information system, right? So in such a case, we need to outsourcing. Okay, we need to outsource the systems, asking help from some other third parties. Right. And so in this question, we will talk about the functionality of the information system department regarding the information system used in the business, and also more detail about how to plan and how to use the system more effectively, and some problem when we do outsourcing information system with the third parties. And then in the future, what happened in the year 2027. Also, we talk about the right and the responsibilities of the people using the information system. Okay. Okay, it's good now, right? So the a problem with the streaming from Google. And you see some students have problem. So try to relog in the system, and then everything will be fine. Okay, it should be okay now. Oh, I'm sorry for that. Yes. All right. So I take time to talk about this. So the main purpose of this presentation is talking about the how to plan to use the information systems, and once you have it in your company, you need to define a proper way to manage it, to use it effectively, okay, and also to maintain the system in order to make it helpful for your business activities. Okay, it's very simple and quick. Talking about the management. So in order to use the information system in the organization, we need to plan ahead, okay, to set up some people to be responsible for the information system users. So at the lowest management level, we have the chief of technology officer, who will be responsible for everything regarding the technology that are used in the business. Okay, and all the things regarding the daily activity, okay, the plan of development, outsourcing the systems, and even with the data administration should be managed by the chief of information officer. Okay, so chief information officer will be the guy to be responsible for everything regarding the usage of the information system in the business. So when talking about who will be responsible about the information system at the higher level, which is CIO, right? CIO. Yeah. So whenever you have question about the usage of the information system, you should address the CIO, right? You should contact the CIO. Or if you have any problem about the information security, or outsourcing, or system development, you may like contact the CIO, all right? Yeah. And sometimes CIO, like for regarding the information system security, he will like forward your request to the CISO, okay, the guy who is responsible for information security. So those are the positions required for the running the info system in the business. So because of the last in the business, we need to have need to prepare for many positions, and then that's also make the labor market, right? Have some news, some good job for people who apply for a job regarding the usage of information system or anything related to information system in the business. So here, first of all, we have a very popular, a very high paid rate for the information system usage. The guy with the BA title, okay, business analyst. So this is very like a powerful one because he defines everything regarding the use of information system in the business. Okay, without this guy, no information system will be used. Okay, he know what the process business are running in order to support the customer, right, or to offer the service to the market, and he know how to like employ the information system to support the process. Okay, many processes out there, so he knows exactly how to use and which kind of information system to be used, to be implemented. So because of that, we have the information systems set up. Okay, so this very good place, okay, to try, good position to try. And then the systems analyst. Okay, so again here I am talking about a very another important one, the guys who define the systems, the information system to be used. Okay, regarding the requirement come from the business analyst. Okay, so systems analyst is like the guys who analyze the requirement from the business analyst and then determine how to build the information systems. Okay. For the term here, you need to be careful with this. For example, systems analyst with the S here, that means in Vietnamese, which is the nhà phân tích hệ thống. Okay. Nhà phải có chữ S này. Okay. Nhà phân tích hệ thống. Okay. Nhà phân tích hệ thống học. Okay. Tức là sẽ biết nguyên lý vận hành của hệ thống và làm nó phù hợp với yêu cầu của thực tiễn. Nhà nghiên cứu hệ thống học là vậy. Nên chữ S rất quan trọng. Ở Việt Nam chúng ta hay mix chữ S này, kể cả những người đi học về tôi không hiểu tại sao họ nói tiếng Anh mà họ thiếu chữ S, vì nó rất là sai. Nếu mà không có chữ S có nghĩa là khi mà bạn chẳng hạn như bạn chạy một cái dự án để bạn có những người tham gia thì system analyst tức là một cái người chuyên gia liên kết với mỗi cái system mà bạn đang có trong công ty, thì lúc đó mình gọi là người phân tích hệ thống trong cái vụ việc mà bạn vừa làm, ví dụ vậy. Thì lưu ý vậy ha. Và nếu mà cái môn học mà là MIS thì bạn phải nhớ M là management, I là information và S là systems. Okay. Bạn phải chữ S ở cuối, chứ nếu mà bạn chỉ ghi là bạn ghi là management information system thì nó chỉ talking about một cái system specific nào đó. Ok, nó không phải là gọi là hệ thống học về khoa học về hệ thống quản lý, nó không phải vậy nha. Khi mình nói về khoa học hệ thống quản lý thì mình phải nói khoa học hệ thống thông tin quản lý, tức là MIS mà có chữ S cuối. Alright, so this is some reminder about the terms. Okay, this terminology used in the information systems. Next, we talk about a position for system development, which is a programmer. Okay, programmer who code, right? Who make the software application because the system may require one or many applications, so we need a programmer to code to develop the applications. So as a business student, this is the best position for you, right? Because you do the business analyst, that's your job, okay? Or for some of you, like spending some more time on the technology, turn out to be a good fit for the system analyst, okay? System analyst. And for the programmer, we need the people from computer science, right? And for the QA engineer, so this guy will do the QA, so they do testing the software, testing the system in whole, and then testing the business process as well, regarding the support come from the information systems. So who will be able to do this job? So people come from either side, computer science and business. Okay, so some specific skills required for this position will be in the third column here. So you can check and see that, right? So very simple. For the first position, you should have the knowledge of business planning, so that's why it requires that people come from business side, because they know how to plan, to build a strategy plan, and also how to run the business process. Okay, so this should be the guy from business side. So besides those positions, we may have some other positions good to know these days, like technical writer, the tech support engineer, the network administrator and consultant. The consultant and then the IT guy consultant here can help a lot with how to use the information system effectively, and also to help with the remodel the system during the maintenance phase of the system. Okay, so these are the popular positions for when we have the information system set up in the organization. Okay, for the rest, like some positions for people come from IT or computer science side, we have project manager. This simply the people with the very strong knowledge about the information system technology, and also people come from business side can take part in this thing as well. Okay, the manager to the administrator. This is we talking about when we discuss about the database, right? The data component in the information system. So these people should come from the computer science. Okay, and then even if they are from computer science, but they should know how to work with people from business. Okay, so from business side, so this is very important, because sometimes we need to have the agreement among both sides, from computer science and from business. So we need people from computer science to have a short skill, okay, collaboration with the people from the other side. That's the requirement. Okay, so we do have a lot of things. And remember, recently we talked about some modern information systems like BI. Okay, so we also need the BI analyst, right? BI analyst is it's hard to have to show for this for people for this position, because it requires a lot, right? You should have very excellent analytical thinking and skills, and the ability of represent the problem in a way that can help everyone to understand it, and also the ability of the catch up with the new technology, the new emerging technology, and also with the ability of making decision, making decision for business, also for the information system development as well. So you see, this is very hard because this guy know a lot of things on both sides, from business side and also for the computer science side. Okay, he's an expert, okay, for both sides. So it's very hard for finding people like that because people should learn a lot, experience a lot with business management, and then also working a lot on the information system development as well as AI. So the CIO, we don't know, right? Because that's the one who manages or responsible for everything regarding the use of information system in the organization. But he will have a good helper from CTO, right? So CTOs at the low level, but help the CIO with information system development and maintenance. Okay. And the CEO, you know that, right? Because CIO is very important one. He will work directly with the people from the IT department in order to handle everything regarding the use of information systems. Okay. So he also have the help from a guy who will be responsible for information system security. Okay, so here is another, yes. So for these three positions, business manager or business people from business side can take this position very well. Yeah, because you as a business manager, you can do the job with the help from the CTO, right, and CISO. So you do not need to know much about the information technology. You do not need to know much about the information security, but you may ask the help from these two guys, so you can do the job well as a CIO of the business. Okay. So we do see many positions out here, and then here's some report regarding the salaries of the jobs. Wow, we can see. So you can see the last three positions. Wow, it comes above 100, right? So above 140, really. I think it's much more than this. Okay, so for CTO, CIO, and CISO. Okay, for the like the medium-sized business. Okay, for the like the large-size business, you may have like double than this, more than this. Okay, so if you try your best, you can do the job like CIO. For other position here, you can see that the programmer maybe the lowest one here. See here, the programmer or the developer always get the lowest salaries. Okay, you can see that. So many people think about to learn computer science. Yeah, that's not a good choice at all, because if you want to get a good payment in the future, okay, you should look for some other job, right? Programmers is always get the lowest payment in the company. Alright, so that's some fun, some interesting information about the jobs in the information system management market, okay, labor market. So now we talked about how to plan to use the information system or IT in the business. Okay, so the first thing we should focusing on is how to align the business requirements with the information system and information system functionality on it. Okay, so when we plan to use the information system in the company or in the organization, we should be aware of the help we can get from the information system first. If we find no help from such a thing like information system, then do not proceed with that. Okay, so we need to align. It's just yes, it's the first step. It's luckily that these days IS can help with everything in the business. Okay, so that's why we pass the first question, the first step easily. Okay, and then the next step is to communicate. Okay, with the group who are responsible for that. Okay, for information system or IT issues, and then after that we define or we set up, okay, the department, and then finally we need to like approve a group of people to help with the rest of the project. Okay, so that's all the steps we need to do. So when we set up an IS or IT department, what should we know? What should we require for that department? Okay, so here's some requirement we need. Okay, all these questions will be answered by the department of information system or IT. Okay, regarding the use, the thing that impacts the usage and the way we use it, or also for example the responsibility of the user who uses the system as well. All of these will be defined or controlled by the information system department or IT department. So whenever we talk about the thing like using the information system, where we address to, that should be the Department of Information System. Or whenever we have problem with the information security, where we address, where we contact, we need to go to the Department of Information System or Information System or Information Department, Information Technology Department. All right. So also the department will be responsible for a lot of other things. Is the time they run the information system, they need to do some training, right? They need to doing some business strategy plan, like reducing the number of the human being labor, right, or human people, and replaced by the information system. So we need to asking some preparedness and trainings for people who replace, also training the people should train the system to replace the job in the future as well. So that all the job, these jobs will be done by the information system department. Okay. So yeah, it's when the computer or the system replace people, and people need to train them or train the people who replace their position. It's a very hard time, right? But maybe this should be given in the as a condition in the contract, for example, before signing the contract. The employee should know that he or she should be responsible for the replacement in the future, for example, and that the job will be controlled and managed by the Department of Information Systems. Okay, hopefully we do not do this see it in the future, right? Okay, replaced by the computer, replaced by the other information system or the other software application. It's really it's very hard for people who lost a job. Okay, but has somehow happened not on today or the other day. Okay, so besides managing everything regarding the usage, the transforming process of the information system users, the Department of Information System also responsible for the outsourcing, okay, outsourcing of the system, because sometimes we develop the system, but we don't have a group of people, a group of developers, okay, programmers in the organization or in the company. So we need to hire someone else, okay, outside, okay, from outside. So or we place requirement, right, the contracts, or we make a plan of hiring them, wherever. So all of this will we have the job done not be inside the company but outside. So we call that the outsourcing, right? We have some third party to do that. So when we do that, what we get, we can save the cost, right? Because now instead of hiring a group of people doing that and pay them like the salary for every month, year, and a lot of other benefits, and then now we do not need to do so. We simply go out to hire someone else, some other third party to do it, right? And also by hiring some third party to do this, we can gain the expertise, right? Because you can benefit from the expertise come from a third party, okay? And then you also save the time. We save the time, right? Instead of pay attention on or managing the project, now we simply outsourcing out to the other to third party, and we do not need to take care of that until we have the product, right? Until we have the results, and we simply get it. So that saves a lot, including the time, the cost, and also again the expertise from outside of the business. Okay. And which kind of the job we can outsource? We can outsourcing. We can do outsourcing. That depend on how you at the level. Okay. But whatever we need to handle or maintain among the time we sell with the control we lose. Okay, so here we have a trade-off. So the more thing we outsourcing, the more control we lose, right? So if you want to keep control something, you need to take care about that. So do not outsource too much. Do not do outsourcing too much if you still want to keep control on the thing. So that depends. So what kind of the job we can outsource, or at what level we can outsource, and that depends on your business strategy. Okay. Right. So we do here some specific reason for outsourcing the information systems jobs, okay, or services. Sometimes we outsource the development of the system in order to own the system later, or sometimes we outsource everything. Okay, so we ask some third party to do the job for us. So that depending on the level of the control you want to keep. Okay, so here's some popular reason to determine to make your decision. Okay, so as the management advantage, we can have often the expertise of one manage problem or free management time. You don't want to do everything regarding the managing of the information system, so you can outsource the information system services. Okay, or we can care about the cost, right? The time to run, or we also care about the risk of using the system. If you have the system or have to manage the system, we have to face with many risks like information security, or the problem with the usage or handle or maintain the systems. So we can choose to do outsourcing or not. Okay, so that's depending on the business strategy. So for some business, like they concentrate on the product or the service, okay, and then sometimes they don't care about the all the process regarding the delivery of the service to the customer. You can like outsource. They can outsource the information system. Okay. So here we have some other summary of this summary of the text. Okay. Wow. Oh yeah, it's not really well. The page of my reviews. Some this again. Yeah, not that much. Sometimes they go down under 90. Okay. So here's some skill from the computer science, and then you do not need to know this. Okay. This is about the computer science position in company. So here so remember when we need to make a decision on whether or not to do outsourcing information system or information system services. You need to refer to the business strategy. Okay, so what you plan to do with your business, or what you plan to do, or to run the business process in a way you think that's effective. Okay, so after considering all of these problem and then issues, and then you can determine whether or not to do the outsourcing, and then what level of the outsourcing we can do for the with the information systems. Okay. Alright. Yeah, many things. Sometimes we don't know, like for some like at a bank. Okay, they sometimes using a very like specific software in banking. So they don't have they have no way to build a team or a department to handle it. So they need to outsource, because that's not because of the strategy, but because of the industry, right? It's because of the industry. No way for you to handle that system. It should be handled by some label or some federal agency. So we need to outsource the system. So that means for some specific industry, we cannot handle or manage or control everything regarding the information system we use, right? But we need to outsource it. For some airline company as well, right? We know that, and then they need to use the system defined or set up by the government, right? Agencies. Anyway, outsourcing is not bad at all, because sometimes you see that it can help to save the time, save the cost, and also to benefit from expertise, right? So that's helpful somehow. So which country do outsourcing a lot these days? The first one should be India, right? Because they have for their professionals, they have a large community, okay, a professional community for every domain, and then those are very well educated, and then they are own English spoken people, and they can work for a low cost, okay, like 70 to 80% less than the U.S. professional, okay. And that's why many companies here in the U.S. Using the outsourcing from do outsourcing with the India. Right? Many companies here, they have team in India. Besides, we have China too. People from China also good and adapt with the need from the U.S. companies, and many they do outsourcing with China too. We do see some company here outsourcing with people in Vietnam, right? Because now we can say that the Vietnamese professional is also well educated. Okay, most of them can speak English, and also they know how to solve the problem at the worldwide level, so that's make them like attracted by any company here in the US, and also yeah, many other countries. Yeah, but here we just like about the top two, and then Vietnam too. Okay. Alright, so remember we can do outsourcing for information system at a different level. Like I said, we can like outsourcing the entire system, or we just outsourcing a part of that. For example, we simply like outsourcing the hardware. Okay, so now we control the software, the data, the processor, and the people, but not the hardware. In case we don't want to have a server set up in house, right? We go for cloud, so that means we outsourcing the hardware. And in the future, when we do need to set up the BI information system, for example, we need some BI tools, and then we don't have the people in the company to do that, so we can use the BI tool from Amazon Cloud Computing, for example, and then we can outsourcing at the hardware and software, so we keep the rest from data, processor, and the people. Okay, and then we may outsourcing more, right? So we use the data from cloud. So from cloud we have the database management system, so we can outsourcing the first three components and keep the rest. In case you outsourcing everything, and then that means you outsource the information system and information system services. Okay. So at which level we can go, that depends on your strategy. Okay, also sometimes depend on your budget. Okay, and sometimes that depends on the industry your company in, right? Because for some industry, as I said, we have no way to own a information system, but we need to rent it, right? Or it should be managed by some federal agency, for example. Alright, so we talked about the outsourcing. That's the way we have some third party to do the job for us, and we also see many benefits from doing outsourcing. Now we're talking about some risk of doing outsourcing. Okay, so before talking about the risk, we will have some quiz. Okay, for the first session of this chapter, which is about the management of the information system. Alright. So now we will have the first question. So remember, for the first session, we simply talking about the management of information system in the business. Okay, or your plan before using the information system. So that's simple. And then here is the first question. So remember, who will be responsible for everything regarding the use of information system? Easy, right? So the answer should be the guy at the top level we say, right? The short one. Now ready, submitted, and ready for the next one. This is second question. So you can choose right one, right? You are unable to work as a farmer. You may do some other position, but remember to choose the best one, the best fit. Okay, so those two questions for the first session. Alright. Now, by the way, I need some of you guys to update the personal information. Remember, you can log in the system using multiple email address. So, in case you use more than one email address, and or you have not updated your personal information, you need to update your information now. Okay, so now I will send out the dialog, and only people with the missing information will be required to enter the personal information. So make sure that you need to have your student ID entered, okay? Because that ID will have to link on the email account you use when access this system. Alright. So if you see the personal information dialog, and you need to enter, first of all you need to enter your student ID. Next you need to enter your class name, IBC02. So IBC uppercase 02, the number, and then the rest you can enter whatever you want. You need to enter your full name, you need to enter your whatever. Okay, so you need to finish the personal information input now. I would like to resend the question. I have a student asking for sending the previous question again. Previous question, this one. Talk about the previous one should be the question from the chapter. Oh, this session. Alright, we talked about this, so we will send the question for the first session of the chapter 11. Okay, I do it. Now get ready for the question. So you have question again, very easy, right? Good. Right, so those questions for the first session. Then now we go to next session, talking about the risk of outsourcing. So the more we do outsourcing, the more we lose control on the system, okay? Because now we don't do the job ourselves, but asking someone else to do it, so we lose the control. That's it. So we may lose the control. We then have to face with some risk, right? Like we cannot control the process at every time. We don't know exactly how the project look like, and we don't understand clearly about the systems, and somehow we lose control that way. And then if we plan to do some re-engineering or some improvement on the system in the future, we somehow don't do it optimally, right? Correctly, effectively. So that's said, we better to do the outsourcing at some reasonable level. Okay, don't try to do outsourcing everything. Okay, because then we have nothing to control, and we have to base on many other third parties, and when they do have problem, and we have problem too. Okay. So here is an example. You guys see that whenever we run a business, we said that social network is a good way, right, to reach out for the customer, and then we use Facebook, for example. Okay, so that's why we outsource the information system. You see that, right? Because now the information system have a part on the social network, and then we need to follow some policy from the network, and also we depend on the way the network is running. Okay, so in a happy day we have everything go well, no problem, everything goes well, no problem. But then the other day, because of some chance, okay, from whatever, from the social network like Facebook, or maybe because of some policy from Google or from Apple, they limit the access from Facebook on their devices, and then Facebook then again telling us that they have no way to control that, so we need to change the way we reach out for the customer, and then dumb, right? It's super dumb for us, because then we have like a problem with our business process, right? Before we can reach out for customer whenever we need, we can send out message, we can put a promotion post on their network, on their firewall, but now on their work, but now we cannot do it because of the new policies. So we have no way to talking about or telling about the new product we have to the customer out there, right? So outsourcing somehow have limitation and problem or risk to the business activity. Okay, so we better to control everything as much as possible. Okay, and then in case we cannot, or because of some reason, we have to do outsourcing and do it. Okay, but outsourcing not always the best way to go, but maybe acceptable solution for us in doing business. And if we are able to do the thing and avoid to use outsourcing at own cost, right? Even it's free or whatever, avoid using it. So here's some example of the risk of using the outsource. Okay, and then for a long-term contract or long way to go, we can see some costs we sell at the moment. Sometimes we say that, oh, if I do outsourcing, I sell the cost, right? I sell the time. But for a long-term running business, you can say we pay more, not just less than we see at the moment. So we need to think about that. Okay, be careful with the some danger we may face for long term. Okay, at least you pay for the control you lose, or you pay for the price you didn't know at the time you do the business with them. But in the future they can change their policy, and then you will be embarrassed, right? You'll be hurt because you didn't know the price by the time you start using their service, right? So for example, Google may have some very good cloud services out there, right? For example, Google Analytics, right? Google Data or Google Business Analytics and Analytics, and then Google customer tracking, okay, Google Map, Google Mesh, Firebase is kind of notification service. Okay, we are using it, right? We software developer and many companies using it. So using the Google Firebase, you can notify your customer whenever you need, right? So if your customer using the smartphone, and then you will have the message delivered on their smartphone easily. If your customer using a browser on the desktop, and then you may have your notification or your message delivered on the customer desktop easily. So it's clearly that we save the cost, right? We save the time whenever we need, whenever we outsource the part of the system using Google services. But at the moment we see some of the service cheap, right, and even free. But recently Google tried to change their policies. They ask more. So instead of sending out 5 notifications per minute, now they asking for sending only 1 per minute. alright? And then if I want to send out 5 notification for 5 customers, I need to wait for 5 minutes. I need to use to share it for 5 minutes to do. So that's bad, right? So if I don't want to wait for 5 minutes and I need to pay, and you know what? It's a very high price. Okay, so that means no longer saving cost because of using outsourcing. Okay, so using outsourcing, sometimes we have to face with many risks. Okay, including the risk of paying higher price in the future. We don't know at the moment, but in the future. Okay? So outsourcing is a very good way to do at the moment, but somehow it hurt in the future because we don't know anything in advance, and because we base on the third party, and then somehow we may be hurt by the third party in case they change their policies. So if what happened if we ask them to be responsible or to sign a contract to secure us in the future, right? To sell everything in the future. And if you want to do so, you have to pay more because they say, okay, I will help you in the future, but you need to